Hi, I'm Jen Moody. I teach 6th grade science, 8th grade science, and 7th grade English. I am also one of the 8th grade homeroom teachers this year at St. Mary. You can see our 8th grade homeroom. This is where 8M spends their day. Combination of tall tables and short tables with all their books underneath. I thought I'd share my back to school PowerPoint with you just because there's so much information and I want to help your children be as successful as possible this year. So let me pull up my PowerPoint super quick. I'm just going to move myself to the bottom. Okay, so I'll cover what we're studying this year with all classes, guidelines like note-taking, homework turning in, that sort of thing, assignment types, special projects, and then a little bit about me and how to get a hold of me if needed. So my goal at St. Mary's is to provide that well-rounded education for the kids, and the way I try to do that is by building that positive environment in all ways, from our physical classroom layout as best as we can this year, to building rapport with the students, and also providing a lot of different types of assignments so the kids can show me what they know in a various amount of ways, a variety of ways, for them to show me not just the same type of assignment every time. So 6th grade science, we're studying science, technology, and engineering. That's our first unit. Then we'll go into Earth's resources, where we talk about rocks, rock cycle, types of rocks, natural resources, renewable, non-renewable resources. Then we go into a little bit of biology with cells, plant, animal, eukaryotic, prokaryotic cells, Earth's organisms from the little ones to the big ones. And then we end the year with some physics and chemistry, so energy and motion and matter. 7th grade English topics of study, we are working in the VOCAB Workshop Level B workbook this year, and we are continuing our grammar study with our Voyages textbook. 8th grade science, we're studying science, technology, and engineering. Then we'll go into Earth's surface, the restless Earth, Earth's history, reproduction and heredity, and that's the one where all the kids, when I say that, they kind of look a little green in the face, but that's our genetics unit. I love teaching genetics, so I'm really excited for that. Life over time, and then forces in motion at the end of the year. So all students are asked to write on their homework and their planner at the beginning of class, and then we review it at the end of class as well. Each classroom has a spot where I write that day's homework on the board, but I also have our daily agenda on the smartboard so they can see what's coming for that class, for that day's class, and also the homework is on the smartboard as well. I post the homework daily if a student does miss it. I post it daily to my webpage. Science notes for both my 6th and my 8th grade classes. So we annotate our notes in our work text, I call it, because it's kind of a workbook textbook. We supplement notes with PowerPoints in class. They don't have to copy that down. I reviewed with the 6th graders and my 8th graders how to find that in their class notebook if needed. At the end of each lesson, the students will make an outline as a way to summarize and keep up with that important, pulling the main ideas out of what we're reading, because that's a skill that they need to keep practicing. And in our science notebooks is where we record our vocabulary for each lesson. For English, we take notes from our Voyages text. Again, I have PowerPoints that go over each lesson to help pull those main ideas, because if you're like me and you need to see it as well as hear it and read it, I like to just give the kids that choice to see it on the board as well. And I send these to their class notebooks as well. After we review the lessons in class, the PowerPoints will be sent to their class notebook. Each 7th grade student also has a blue root word folder that we are using right now. Eventually, once our new tablets come, we'll be doing all the work on the computer, but right now we're using the folders that are starting at least to build our knowledge with our Greek and Latin root words. So for homework, we will have regular homework for science where students will either finish notes, maybe lesson review questions, graphic organizers. I love doing graphic organizers as a way for the kids to review what they've learned, but also show me what they know, like Venn diagrams or fold notes. Worksheets, occasionally I'll have worksheets for them to use as well to help reinforce the main ideas. Outlines, like I said, just to summarize and pull those main ideas. Labs, we're doing as much as we can hands-on, even if that means You know, I'm having one kid help be my demo partner during class. Some labs are easier than others where I can give each kid their own lab equipment, but I am still doing as many hands-on activities in the classroom as I can. The data will always be collected in class, but then questions and graphs will be may be required to be completed at home. After each lesson, we'll take a 5-question multiple choice quiz. Also, there's a 6th question with the essential question. So that's each and every lesson. My 6th graders are able to make corrections on those to earn half the points they miss back, even if it's just 1 question, or if they miss 5 out of the 6 questions, they're able to do corrections. Now, 8th graders, since I'm getting you ready for high school, I don't let you do corrections this year, unfortunately. Tests, we do a week's notice for tests. I give you a study guide, and then we'll review in class by playing Kahoot together the day before the test. Your science in the news, hopefully you're working on that. Remember, you can turn that in early if needed, because that is the assignment that I will check and send back to you with corrections and suggestions before the due date. So as long as you turn it in 2 days before that due date, you can make suggestions, changes to the grade for a higher grade. So those 6 dates for the science of the news for 6th and 8th grade are on the class syllabus that you all returned the paper that you saw. And the rubrics are on my website, a good and bad example. Just remember, with the science of the news, always work ahead on that and turn it in early so you can have me check it over. For English class, we'll have regular homework from the Voyages textbook, but it's only 10 questions for each lesson. I went through and narrowed out some of the repetitive questions and really just picked the 10 questions that help reinforce from each lesson, but also allow me to see if the kids are getting it or not. And then classwork, we'll work on the exercises from each lesson in class. The root word study is also worked on in class. For the vocabulary tests, we'll have a unit test after each unit. It's 25 questions, 1 point per question. However, I am going to give cumulative tests, and I told the kids they're open book. I want you to take it at home. I'll send it to them through Teams, so it'll be an online test. But after every 3 units, they'll take one of those cumulative tests. Grammar tests will be taken at the end of each unit, and we will still play Kahoot to review for each grammar test. This is the schedule for my vocab workshop too. So for week 1, each unit takes 2 weeks. For week 1, the flashcards are due at the end of the week, and those are worth 5 points. For week 2, the week of the test, I break down the 4 different sections of book pages in the workbook to review in class leading up. So you're practicing, we're reviewing, we're going over those answers leading up into that test. And then on Friday, we'll take the test. They'll cover pronunciations, parts of speech, definitions, synonyms, antonyms, and using the words in a sentence. So my email address truly is the best way to get a hold of me. I check it at home frequently throughout the night. Once I leave school, I check it when my kids are in bed. I check it in the morning before I come into school. So it really is the best way to get a hold of me. You can find my email either by looking at it here, or it's also on the St. Mary's website. My website is also found on the website if you need to go back and look at the homework daily. And then you can also call the office if you need to get a hold of me, and Mrs. Kozlowski will pass the message along. So before I sign off, 8th graders, I know we sent home that email last week about Shadow Day. It's October 6th. Please register at one of those Catholic high schools sooner rather than later. You are always welcome to shadow on one of our days off too. We have 4 different days off in October with the 15th, the 16th, the 19th around conferences, and then the 30th after confirmation. For confirmation, 8M is making their confirmation on October 27th, 8D on October 29th. Both of them will be masses at 7 p.m. at night. And then that day off will be on October 30th. And then conferences will be sending home information soon about that, but they're earlier in the trimester instead of after the first trimester is over. So that is what I have. Like I said, I had a lot of information. So I figured if you were like me and it's easier to see the information and read along with me rather than just have me talk to you, I wanted to share my PowerPoint with you. But please email me if you ever need anything from me. I'm happy to get in touch with you and work with you and your children if needed. I'm looking forward to a really great year with everyone this year. So thank you very much, and please let me know if you have any questions.